are listening to Kelly and Laura, just two unfiltered mums here to share the more reality of parenthood.
Finally, it has been a minute. My gosh, we've literally gone into a new year, 2024.
I know. We are so sorry. Basically, life just happened. It does.
It did. I think it's either been I've been ill, you've been ill, kids have been ill, back to work.
I mean, your household have been really ill. And then, both of us have been back to work from maternity leave. So it has just been wild.
Yeah, we have actually attempted to film about 50 million times, but apologies and thank you for your patience. But we're back and it's really good to be back in the studio and filming. It's so good.
We have missed it.
We really have. And we've also, both returned back to work. So we thought it would be a good time to tell you all about how that's gone or going. And the girls have actually started nursery. So should we just give them a little bit of a update, Laura, on where the kids are at the moment? Do you want to go first?
Yeah, so Isla started nursery in September, and she's loving it. We'll talk more about that later. She's an absolute nutter. And then George went up to the preschool room. So our nursery have the preschool sort of upstairs. So he's gone up there, ready preparation for big school in September.
Oh my God, that's just scary, isn't it? Where time is floating.
So terrifying.
Mila is, she's 19 months now, which is terrifying. So I think she just turned 1 or was about to when we last filmed.
Oh my gosh.
She is at nursery, so she's been at nursery since just when she just turned 1, so June last year. She has recently, as of January, gone up to, it's called the Ducklings. So she's left baby care.
Stop. Ducklings, that is so delicious.
Literally. She's very much enjoying nursery, but we'll go into all that jazz about the process of starting nursery and the transition, etc. She is a nutter as well. She started doing trustfalls, just even if no one's there. Nursery, brilliant. It's a good about to catch her, literally. She just flew off the chair. No, she's fab. I think we've been lucky with our girls. I think Mila's definitely getting a little bit of sass now. I don't know where she gets that from.
No, me neither. And Matt also said about her, she's stubborn. She's, I'm like, I just have no idea where she gets it from.
Just proper little characters. Proper little characters now.
They sure are. So, shall we start with sort of going back to work after maternity? How did you find that?
Really hard. I'm gonna be brutally honest. It was much harder than I ever thought it would be. I knew it was going to be hard in regards to leaving Mila. I'd been with her for 13 months, just us and obviously Connor, and then suddenly having to have my attention onto other things and work. It's been really difficult, and I think I'm still navigating how to be a parent, do good at my job, run a business, be a wife, be a friend, all that. It's been really challenging. I'm not sure if you found the same just going back, but it's been difficult.
Yeah, really difficult. I completely agree. And, we are being honest on this podcast. So, really hard, really tough. And actually, I remember going back after George, I really, really struggled. And I remember just having this a breakdown at work. I just feel the mum guilt was just so real. And I remember just going to my boss, I was like, I can't do this. And he was like, he was really supportive and was just like, what can we do? And we looked at some things, and I don't know. I just found it really difficult. I sort of said, it took me so much to have him, and now I'm sort of not with him. And it was just that balance I just couldn't get my head round. Then I got into the swing of it, and as you do. And then obviously we had Isla, and then going back after Isla, it was suddenly how on earth am I going to manage 2 toddlers, work, and like you said, and a wife, and they changed my job role as well slightly. So I was going back to a new job role, and it was just what is it? My brain just couldn't cope. Like,
I know.
suddenly, because it's all it is on maternity leave, it's just like parent brain, isn't it? Just mum brain.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's hard enough. And then you
My
go back
my
to
brain's not
work.
the same. My brain's not the same.
Oh, no, me neither. I just don't remember anything.
No, literally. I'm just like everything filters out. No, it's
I know.
hard.
They'll literally be like, Laura, have you done this? I'll be like, no. Just don't remember you ever asked me to do that. Like, we literally said it yesterday. I'd be like, oh, no. Like my desk is just like filled with Post-it notes because I just don't remember anything anymore.
It's very organised though. I mean, the thing is, both of us have gone back full time as well, haven't we? And your 5 days, I've kind of compressed my hours into 4 days, which
you have 4 long days, don't you?
Yeah, 4 10-hour days on paper, but you know how it is. You still do that bit of work after or when Mila's in bed. But I found that really hard because Friday is mine and Mila's day. And on paper, I was like, yeah, this is really good. Then we can spend lovely time together on a Friday. But I've ended up working on a Friday. You know, my boundaries have been poor, should we say, between home and work life. And I know I very much should be in charge of that, but it is challenging. I went into, I thought it was a great idea to go for a promotion at work. And
I mean, that was wild. I remember us voice noting about that. And I was just like,
should I do it? Should I not? I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
And in my head, I'm like, well, I think I said to you, I was like, don't. Like, you need to try and get this balance first because it's really hard. And you're like, okay, well, I've gone for it and I've got it. So
Instant regret. No, I do love my job. My job is very stressful, as is yours, and it's just hard because I think even because I'm working in here for long hours, and I work from home, it's really hard because I can hear Mila next door, and if I just go in there, she's going through a bit of a separation anxiety ever since she was poorly. We'll come to illness. She's been just wanting mum. Now, if I'm not in the room, it's absolutely fine. But say I'm working, and then I've just popped out there to go to the toilet or whatever, and she sees me, it's kind of like breakdown. And then I feel even more guilty because all I want to do is stay there and be with her. And I have to go back and work, and I just have to crack on. So that's been really hard. And I think the biggest thing for me as well with returning back to work from mat leave was when I was pregnant, I was pretty sure that I would be dying to get back to work. Like I really thought, like after I don't know, a few months, I'd be like, yeah, I'm ready. But I really never had that feeling. You know, it sounds quite sad actually, but work's always been my baby. Like my career was always my baby before Mila, and now having Mila, you know, she comes first. She's the top of my priority, and I just want to spend all the time with her. Albeit, you know, give or take, guys. Sometimes I'm like, God, when is 7 p.m. coming? Get me my glass of wine.
No, yeah. I think you're right. Like we were both like that. We're both so career driven, and don't get me wrong. Like obviously still am, but I was like going for promotion, like wanting this. This is where I want to be by the time I'm 40. And then the kids have come along, and I'm like, actually, I don't want that. So like me and Matt have the same job, and he did a promotion when I was on maternity, sort of like a secondment, if you like. It was like a year, and I just saw it nearly broke him, and I thought. I don't want that. Like, not with 2 toddlers. Like, it's just.
I don't know how you do 2.
All the money in the world was just not worth it. Like, to see because he wasn't getting back till so late, then having to work as soon as they went back to bed. Like, when they went to bed, the weekends, and it was just like, what's the point? What's the point in having our 2 gorgeous babies if we just will not see them? So I took a step back on any sort of like promotion and sort of said to work it's not for me while the kids are so small. I'm not
right now. Yeah. I think it is definitely a time thing. I mean, I definitely have made my life more challenging than maybe it would have been to have not gone for it. But I did it. I'm still here. I think I nearly broke before Christmas. I think my poor manager was having to basically scrape me off the floor. But I think I've come into this new year with a bit of a different mindset, and it is around boundaries. So I am now, I have to say, like today is a Friday. Last week I did not work and I've just switched everything off, notifications. I'm being quite proud of it. I've actually felt better. I didn't do any work over the weekend. Last weekend, more actually, because my wonderful husband decided to break the internet, and I nearly divorced him. So
just FYI, we were meant to record last week, and then I just had this horrendous message from Kel being like, "You'll never guess what he's done." So this is why this episode's a week late, guys. Thanks, Connor.
Cheers, man. Cheers, mate. But yeah, so, it's hard, and I think I'm still not there. I don't know about you, but you're probably maybe a bit closer to that work-life balance at the moment, maybe for us going through it the second time. I don't know, but I'm still navigating. I say some days are better than others, but I would say that having Mila has definitely just made me reprioritize, like things that used to maybe really stress you out, really bother you at work. I mean, I have my moments still, and Christ, and it just comes with the job, but there's sometimes I think, oh my God, like, this is just work. Like, my life and her and Connor are like, they're my world. And some things that I probably really, really cared about, I just don't care as much anymore, because it's just, you put it into perspective, it's just not worth it.
Yeah. And actually what I found was it really got into perspective to me. Sometimes if you feel like you're going down that hole of work a bit, if then one of the kids will be ill and I'll be like, oh my God, I'm dropping everything. Because they're my priority. And then all of a sudden it just brings you back to work's not important. Like, do you know what I mean? And sometimes I hate that it has to like get to that point where I'm like, oh, it's not important, but you can't help it, can you? You sort of get sucked into making sure everything's done at work and things like that. But no, I've sort of not done work over the last sort of couple of weekends, and just sort of been like, do you know what? No, it'll still be there next week. And, there will be a time where I will have to work loads probably, depending on the time of year, but just they'll never be this small again. So
that's it. They change so quickly. And like last night, like when you're on your phone, I don't know if your phone does like just random highlights sometimes. Like it'll send you the little highlight videos. And we were looking last night, I was like, oh, I was going to look at that. And we were like, oh my goodness, like even 3 months ago, she was a different person to what she is now. And then we look back when she was younger, and one, it made us emotional, because there are moments where we think, crikey, like I don't even remember that moment, because it was just it's gone so fast. And if it was a difficult moment, you kind of not sometimes you weren't living in that moment. But I cannot believe how much she has changed. Also, can't believe how, like, bless her heart, how chunky she was. I knew she was like, chubby cheeks and, chunky, but Connor used to go, I used to tell you, Kelly, you were blind to it. I definitely was. I look now, and like now she's like grown into her body. I'm like, wow. She's bless her. That's what babies are for. They're just meant to be like squishy and
absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's like, so Isla update. She started walking this week.
Oh, I know. I'm so proud of her.
First steps. I know. And now there's no stopping her. You should have seen her. Like, she was trying to go around the house with 2 different prams earlier, like pushing them and walking. I was like, what are you doing? But yeah, I find actually when they start walking, their body shape completely changes, doesn't it? Because they're moving so much more.
Well, she can reach handles now, like door handles. She's like nearly trying to swing off the worktop. It's quite scary. She's like, because she runs everywhere now. So I suppose because the last time I don't think neither of them were walking, but now they are walking. They're talking, giving some sass. They're very strong characters. They know what they want, what they don't want.
Absolutely. My do you know what my favourite thing with Isla is? Just randomly she'll go, hiya. I'm like, hiya. All right, babe. Just really randomly, like, I'll be sorting George out, and just round the corner will be a hiya. Right, Isla. Honestly.
I love that. Well, when Mila says no, she goes, no, like an American no. And I definitely have to give that to Miss Rachel on YouTube, which I know you have avoided, but
I have avoided because you've just scarred me with it.
Albeit, I think it's very educational, and it has helped her come on. I mean, she's obsessed with nursery rhymes, and she just comes out now. She'll just start singing towards them, or saying little words, or like "ooh" at the end.
I love it when they do that.
And it's she just surprises me every day, and I think, oh my God, that's amazing. Well done. I've got the most intelligent child ever. And then I'm like, like she farts and laughs. I'm like, oh yeah, no. or not.
Oh, she's my daughter. Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about there, Laura. Jesus.
Let's not go down that route. So let's talk about finding nursery then. So did you, because that, I thought that was like really, well, I thought it was going to be a really easy process because I thought we had it nailed, and then it just went to pot. But I'll talk about that in a sec. You knew the nursery she was going to go to, didn't you?
Yeah, so we did have a little look at a couple. When I was pregnant, we were told, they're like, oh my gosh, you need to get booked into a nursery because of waiting lists and all that stuff. So kind of put the fear in us very early on, that we like, oh my God, we didn't do anything, I'm not gonna lie guys, in pregnancy until she was born, and then we looked quite quickly, I'd say. But we looked probably about maybe 4 places. I think there was another one I was going to see, but I couldn't get there. And to be honest, when I saw this nursery she's at now, I just absolutely fell in love with the people and the environment. And typically it was the most expensive nursery ever. So, welcome second mortgage.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, so we just had a look around, took Mila, but she was that young. I mean, she didn't have a Scooby what was going on. But I would always say to people, go and have a little look. Don't just look at websites and all that stuff. Actually go there, because you get like a vibe. And
100.
Yeah, there was one or two that I was like, I was a bit disappointed. I thought it was going to be a little bit better than what I anticipated. But yeah, I was pretty, I think, like ready to put her in the nursery that she's at now. But I just wanted to explore other options before doing it.
Yeah, just to make sure. So we were like dead set on this one, which was behind my work, and it's like
handy.
Ofsted outstanding. I know some friends that like sent their kids there, so I was like, obviously he's just going to go there with George. So we left it quite late, to be honest, but we booked. I said Matt wanted to have a look around, and I was like, yeah, obviously we'll have a look around, that's fine. And it was like the height of COVID. And I was like a bit of a COVID freak when it came to George, and so they opened the door, and I was like, oh, do you want us to wear a mask, do you want us to, because it was in the middle of the day, so obviously all their kids were there, and they were like, oh yeah, I mean, up to you if you want. And I was like, okay. And then I had a little look around, and I won't go into detail because it was fine, but I came out and cried.
Oh.
And Matt was like, what's wrong? I was like, I don't want him to go there. And he was like, well, why? I was like, I don't know. There was nothing. I didn't see anything. There was nothing. But it just didn't feel right. And I just couldn't get that feeling. And I was like, there's no way I can drop him off here every morning and feel fine about it. I just
wonder what it was.
What it is.
Was it just like just a vibe? Just a vibe.
It was just a vibe, and I was like, this is not what I wanted it to be. And whether you build something up in your head, and obviously you want the best thing in the world, but I don't know. Like I said, I just looked around and I was like, something is just not feeling right. And it's obviously the nursery's absolutely fine. Like I said, with Ofsted, it's outstanding, and friends, kids there, and are really happy and whatever. But I just couldn't shake this feeling. So I was crying on the way home, and then I was like going into Google, like trying to find some local nurseries, like what are we going to do? And then there was one sort of on the way back, and I just said to Matt, I was like, pull in. And I sort of rang the doorbell, and it was actually, I didn't know at the time, the manager came down full like apron, gloves, mask, and was like, can I help? And I was like, I just need to find a nursery, like was in this right state. So she took my details and then like just emailed, said you'll have to come after closing when we're doing deep clean, when all the kids have gone, because we deep clean every night. And I was like, this sounds
this
really
is
great.
The one for me.
And we walked in, and there was just like this massive like Winnie the Pooh mural, and there was like the Pooh Bear room and the Baby Bear room, and I was just like, I wanted to go here.
We're fully booked. Go away.
Yeah, for 3 years. No, and I was so lucky, like that they were fine, like they had space, and I don't know whether that was like a shift with people working from home or whatever, but we were really, really lucky that they had space.
Oh, that's good.
But signing up with Isla, they said to me, they're like, when did you want her to start? And I was like, the September. I was still pregnant, and they were like, oh, you need to sign her up. And I was like, oh, I don't really like, because she hadn't been born. I'm like, felt really odd about it. I was like, don't really want to. They're like, Law, we're going to have to, because I can't guarantee a place otherwise. So I did have to sign her up.
Mental, isn't it? Mental.
I know. Obviously, they just, because we didn't know, they just put a baby on it.
Baby girl.
And then like, and then just all our details. But yeah, we had to sign up really early with her.
Yeah, a lot of people said that. And I think, to be fair, because Mila's in 3 days at nursery, and I wanted specific days, and I can't remember whether it was mine. I mean, it was probably my baby brain, but I committed to to the 3 days, and then I wanted to change it to a different day. I ring up thinking, can I just change, I don't know, the Monday to a Tuesday, for example? I can't remember what it was. And they were like, oh, no, sorry, Kelly, like, it's fully booked, like, for the rest of the year of those days. And I was like, holy moly. So I was like, right, Mum, we're swapping days. You've got to have one this day, so sort your life out. Thanks.
So basically change everything back.
Please, pretty please, thank you. So it definitely is a little bit of time and investment, I think, in the nursery search. I mean, I think the first one I went to, I could hardly fit down the corridor, mate. You couldn't even take a pram. Had Mila like asleep, and they were like, oh no, you can't bring that in. And I was like, why not? And they're like, because you won't fit down. And I was like,
what?
Yeah, it was so narrow. And I'm not going to lie, I was not a fan anyway, but... And actually, I don't think the nursery's even around anymore. But it was quite small. Whereas this one that she's at is like super spacious. They do lots of outdoor stuff. I wanted her to be somewhere she could go outdoors and get dirty and just enjoy herself. And and she definitely gets dirty, guys. I've never known washing like it.
Do you know what? That reminds me, actually. I remember you sending me a picture of her, whether it had been her settling in session, and she looked absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, it was her first day. First day, wasn't it?
Oh, my. And I remember messaging you and being like, mate, don't put her in nice clothes. They will get absolutely trashed. Like, you basically, one of my biggest tips, guys, is you basically need like a nursery wardrobe.
Yes.
So clothes. So I tend to go to Primark and just buy a whole load of stuff that, like, I don't care that it gets covered in paint and pen and food and whatever and stained.
Yeah.
Do that, because otherwise you'll find all your lovely clothes get completely trashed.
Yeah, no, agree.
Very, very quickly.
Agree. It's not even that. I mean, when I picked her up the other day, they were like, I was like, oh no. I was like, is she leaked? Has she had a poo and she's leaked? And they were like, no, she just decided to have all of her food everywhere, and it went all down her clothes, even with the apron on. So I was like, excellent, lovely, cheers. And it was like spaghetti bolognese or something that was stained. Like, I've washed it and it won't come out. So any tips for that, guys? Please drop us a comment somewhere or message me, because I really struggle. I use Vanish and all sorts, and I just can't get stains out a lot of time.
My tip is just put it back in the nursery drawer, ready for the next time.
Yeah, exactly. Someone said, put it in the sun, put anything like that in the sun. I was like, yeah, okay, all right. We live in England, barely see the sun.
Give it a few months.
I'll wait until July, maybe August.
So what were your settling in sessions like at nursery? So people that don't know, they'll do like sort of a settling in sessions, plural, depending on the nursery. So what were yours like for yours? Because every nursery is different with their settling in sessions. Yeah,
so I definitely expected to probably have like a week of settling in, if I'm honest. And Mila had one day, which was 2 hours. And that was it. Literally 2 hours. So...
And then she was in?
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, I mean, it's literally like 7 months ago now. I'm pretty sure it was just one settling in session. It might have been 2, but it was no longer than literally a couple of hours. There's like a nice little cafe right as kind of part of the nursery, like adjacent to it. So when we dropped her off the first day for our settling sessions, me and Connor just went and had a little coffee and cake, and we're just... couldn't stop talking or thinking about it and crying. Yes, I was like, is she okay? But yeah, that's all she had. So I know other nurseries definitely do longer. Did Isla and George have longer settling in sessions?
Yeah, so they both had an hour where I went in with them.
We didn't stay. We just had to go as well. Yeah.
With the settling in, with that
Yeah.
2-hour one?
Yeah. So I mean, we went and had a coffee and just like literally just down from there because we didn't want to go back home because it was so short anyway.
Well, yeah.
But no, we didn't stay in there.
Oh no, I got to do, I say we, it was definitely just me. I did an hour with both of them, like in the baby room, and got to like talk about their routine and what they were like, what they don't like and stuff like that. So that was an hour. And then they had a 2-hour session, I think, then in the morning, where I did drop and leave. And then I think you had the choice of another one. So I think actually with both of them I might have done another, whether it was like a 3-4 hour, maybe up until lunch or something.
That's good then. And do you have to pay for that as well?
I paid for that one, yeah. Settling in the other two, the first two, no, but that one I did because I think that one was optional.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah, so
yeah,
I think I definitely did it with George because it had been COVID and he just hadn't been around.
Of course,
like anything.
Anyone,
any kids. So yeah, I definitely did the optional one. And I'm trying to remember with Ida, but I'm pretty sure I did it with her as well because I thought, why not? Like gradually do it before then. See ya for 4 days.
Bye. Yeah, so ours is probably a little bit more hardcore, I suppose, straight into it.
Yeah.
Which was quite a surprise actually to me. But to be fair, I say that she was fine. She definitely was not fine when she went to nursery. It was really difficult because it definitely took a good few weeks to settle in. Because Mila at that point was still kind of, she'd be okay with some people, and then some people it could be random that she would just, they'd walk into the room and she'd burst into tears and be like, sorry guys. She doesn't hate you, I promise. So I was quite nervous. I was excited for her to be around kids and have that social time, but at the same time I was nervous thinking, oh my gosh, she's gonna hate it. And then she's got these, just random people looking after her. And it is hard because then you're just dropping them off and you think, I'm putting my full trust into somebody that I don't actually know. But the nursery is great. I mean, to be fair, I don't know whether other parents were like this or if you did it, but we rang them multiple times on like her first proper days, being like, it's us again. Is she okay? They're like, yes, she's fine. She's absolutely fine, Kelly. And Connor was probably worse than me. He would ring more. Actually, I just want to ring up and just check that she's okay. She's okay. But we never had. Luckily, we never had a phone call to say, she was really upset that we had to come and collect her ever. And I think that as the weeks went on, she was absolutely fine. And now, mate, I took her to nursery the other day, and someone was coming out, so the door was open. She walked straight. She just ran off with her arms open to a key worker, and I was like, "Bye then, Mila. See you later. Bye." I mean, I was gutted.
I was gutted.
Yeah.
I know, but I think you make a really good point about like it does take them a while to settle in.
Yeah,
and I mean, I'm not going to lie to you, I definitely cried at the drop off, like the first few drop offs, because
I was a mess. I was a mess. Yeah,
screaming for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, stick with it, guys, because it does get easier. And like I said, they do just end up ignoring you and running off. But yeah, that bit is really hard, I think, because like you said, you're giving them over, they don't want to go.
Yeah.
And then you just sort of have to say bye, see you later. I didn't call, but my nursery has like this parent cam where you can like log in and just see them.
Oh my god, is that actually a thing? Someone mentioned that and I just thought they were joking.
No, so I think it's limited to like 10 minutes a day. And I'm thinking like,
sat there in your coffee like all day.
Well, I'm thinking you just who would even use up to 10 minutes, and then like the first few weeks of George, it was like times used. And I remember, don't tell Matt, I changed the login because I didn't want him to use up any of the time. So I changed the password. It's like, oh, it's not working. I was like, oh, I'll speak to the nursery. I hate when that happens.
I love that. That's amazing.
I know, but yeah, so I did use that. To be fair, with Isla, not so much, because by that point I knew the nursery, I knew the staff.
Second one, you don't really care, did you, Laura?
Yeah, so I'm picking up at 6.
No, we didn't have that. Yeah. We didn't have that. We have the they do like a care diary, so they'll send you photos and they'll update when they've like what they've eaten, when they've pooped and or when they've slept. Which is really nice, but it's always like a week in arrears, so it's you have to kind of wait until next week. But as I said, it was tough going to start with because it's just a massive transition. Again, like she'd been with me for all that, over a year and only known me every day. Well, Connor, you know what I mean. And then for some strangers, but she absolutely, I have to say, loves nursery, and I had to just trust and watch her kind of flourish there. I think it's the best thing that ever happened to her, albeit
100%.
I think even like if I was ever in a situation where, won 110 million on the lottery or something and didn't ever have to work again, I would still...
You'd share it with me.
Yeah, of course, obviously. But I would still keep her in that environment because I think, I think it's of benefit to her. She's definitely got confident. She's definitely learnt some things there that I'm like, okay, you've definitely done that in nursery.
But I find I'm now blaming stuff. Like George will do something and I'll be like, oh, it must be nursery.
That's what I do. That's what I do. I'm like, she literally she throws things. I'm like, oh God, it's nursery. It must be one of the boys at nursery that she's copied. Connor's like, it's probably just her, really.
Yeah. Oh God. But actually, what Matt said was really good for us. So we've spoken about sort of like postpartum and how we were both like absolute, psychos about routine. And a lot of like my postpartum anxiety and yours was around sleep and the routine and getting that right. And I remember the midwife sort of saying, oh, being a bit worried about it. And Matt was like, she'll be absolutely fine when Isla goes to nursery, because she was fine when George went to nursery, because you literally have no choice.
Yeah.
You pick them up and they're like, I remember they were like, oh yeah, so George had, 20 minutes today sleep. And I'd be like, my chest would just go. Like,
yeah.
Okay. But there's nothing you could do at that point. It's the end of the day.
No.
Like you're picking them up to go home. So
exactly. And the first time Mila went to nursery, I went and picked her up and they were like, yeah, so she's had 19 minutes sleep. I was like, oh God, I know. I was like, whoo. And yeah, I was like massively obsessed with like naps and like routine and times, because I was convinced that, if they sleep in the day, great sleep in the day, makes great sleep at night. Total BS in regards to my child. Doesn't matter if she had 5 minutes or 2 hours, she could be good or bad. So that I remember like feeling like really stressed, and she was still on 2 naps then as well. But like you said, I'd rush her home and she'd be like starting to like fall asleep, and I'd be like singing nursery rhymes, being like, head, shoulders, knees and toes, literally. And she'd be like trying to keep awake in the car. I'm like, no, stay awake. We're literally 4 minutes down the road.
The danger nap.
Oh yeah, the danger nap. But like you said, for me, it definitely helped me let go of being so anal about that, because you can't control it. What happens. Now if I go, generally I have to say, touch wood, like for quite a lot, probably for the last 6 months plus, she's generally been like a good napper. Like she could do about an hour and a half, 2 hours on a one nap. But they kind of progressed that transition from 2 to 1, like automatically. It just kind of fell, which was actually really helpful. But, the other day when I picked her up, I think it was on Monday, she did 45 minutes. And I was like, oh, well, never mind. You might be a bit grizzly before bed, but maybe you'll just go down. You'll be sparker, So,
I remember like when we pulled up, Matt was just being like, just be prepared, she won't have eaten, won't have slept, like worst case scenario, trying to like build me up. But yeah, you do get to that. Like I remember picking, I think it was one of them up, and then being like, oh yeah, they only had 40 minutes because somebody woke them up. And I was like,
who is it?
Sorry, say that again. Somebody woke them up, like thinking don't kick off. But then like I said, I was just like, okay, fine, like
where are the parents? So we need to have words.
I'm just gonna wait here until they're collected. But no, you just have to like deal with it. So yeah, it was really good for routine. And actually what I found was and still with Isla now, like at the weekend, her naps and George's naps are just a bit longer. So now like just going to that 2 hours because she's catching up almost, because nursery just wipes them, doesn't it?
Every day is a different day in our world. So one day I can tell you today she did 25 minutes nap, and I was like, whoa, you haven't catting out of that for a while. But to be fair, she's been fine. To be fair, she's not very well. Shock again.
I was going to say that would lead us on to our next thing about illnesses.
Oh my gosh.
please be prepared when your child goes to nursery. They will be permanently ill forever.
They
until
actually
they leave.
Yeah, but what people forget to tell you is also it's not just the children that get ill, but the parents get ill. And I have to say, last year was the illest I've ever been in my entire life, and I couldn't catch a break, could I? It was one thing after another. Like she was fitter than me. I was like, you're fine, but I'm like dead and dying. Well, you can't be dead and dying, but you know what I mean. And being dramatic there. So yeah, it was that, and that's probably the hardest things in regards to like talking about nursery and returning to work. I literally returned to work and I was like super focused, like motivated, like yeah, I can tackle the world. And then I think I lasted about a week and a half, and then I was off. I've never been off.
Trying to remember.
Work.
What
with
did
pneumonia.
You have that first week?
Oh, hang on.
It was the first week. Was it a sickness bug?
Well, I had tonsillitis just before going back to work. Oh yeah, tonsillitis, and then sickness and diarrhea. That was fun. Because all three of us had that. That was great. Albeit, Mila's never really been sick, as in like, like she would from the bottom part, but not from the top. So, but mum and dad were. So we were really poorly.
You were so poorly.
And then it was like, oh yeah, remember that good one? Hand, foot, and mouth. Oh, wasn't that a joy? Oh yeah. And do you know what? Didn't just have it once. We had it twice. I think I've still got a scar,
which I think is quite rare.
Yeah, well, in this household, anything goes. That was awful because I was actually Mila had like a little spot on her knee to the point I wouldn't even have looked at it as a problem. And I remember just waking up going, what is that on my ankle? It was my ankle had like a massive like blister rash, and then it was on my hands, and then it was in my mouth, and I had ulcers. I'm talking like it was the most painful thing ever. Like I was miserable. Oh God, it was horrible. It was horrible. And that took a good 10 days plus to go. I've still got a scar on my ankle, actually. Then we had chest infections, and then it deteriorated into ended up with pneumonia. I was like bedbound for like 3 and a bit weeks. So my start back to work was amazing. Impressed.
Yeah, but that's like you said, because you get ill as well, and it's just.
Oh yeah, you still have to parent, by the way. You still have to parent. I will say I do not know how single parents do it, because I mean I've got like a newfound respect. Absolutely, you guys are bloody amazing, because if I didn't have Connor to like help, and also when people don't have that network around them, I was so heavily reliant on my parents because they live close. I'm so lucky that they had Mila like overnight a few times just to give Connor a bit of respite whilst I was keeling over in bed. So it was dreadful. Yeah. It was really bad. So I don't think I ever prepared for that. I knew we would have colds and all that stuff, and I just thought that would be probably the extent of it. We haven't even started. We haven't had chicken pox yet. We haven't had all that. Oh God.
Yeah, George had chicken pox, and I remember I was pregnant with Ida actually, and it can be quite dangerous, can't it, when you're pregnant? And I remember like freaking out, and I think nursery were one of the first people I told I was pregnant because I was quite early. But I was like, oh my God, just panicked. Yeah, but chicken pox I found with George, I mean, he had it quite bad, but they just they can't go back until they've scabbed over, and it's that sort of thing that like throws me as well. So we were off work for like 5 days between us, and then thrown a weekend by the time he could then go back.
5 days, all right. That's 3 weeks over, Jesus.
But
no, awful.
Like obviously with like a sickness and diarrhea bug, like they have to then wait 48 hours from when they've last been sick, and it's just factoring all of that with work.
Yes.
And then obviously with you being ill as well, that you just don't take into consideration. I don't think.
And you still have to pay. You still have to pay for the nursery days. I'm like, but she's not even been there. But yeah, but I get it. They have to, they've already paid for staff and stuff, staffing for it. So, but yeah, I remember turning up to nursery and they would put like a sign on the door to be like, on today's menu, the disease is, DNV or chickenpox, and my heart, I'd be like, I don't even want to bring her in because I cannot cope with anything else. I cannot. I literally contemplated, like, right, I'm giving up work. I'm just going to keep you at home and just keep you protected. And be like, no, that wouldn't really work. But yeah, it was, that's been the hardest bit.
A lot of relatives say to me, like, oh, well, at least they're building up their immune system for school.
Oh God, I can guarantee they'll still be ill at school, probably, won't they?
Yeah, of course they will.
Jeez.
Of course
it'll be just something different.
My nursery do the same, like it's on the door. So at the moment it's sickness and diarrhea, but I remember going up and it was like scarlet fever, and I was like, what? What is that? Like, are we back in medieval times? What is scarlet fever? Like, all these illnesses I haven't even heard of. I'm like there, like on the NHS, like, what is it? What is it? What is it?
Well, I don't think...
trying to work out what it is.
I don't remember... I mean, I was obviously younger then, but even speaking to my parents, they were like, hand, foot and mouth, like, you just didn't have that. Like, when I was a kid, like, it was normal colds and flus and all that stuff, and chickenpox. It wasn't... Yeah, I never had it, and
but I guess hand, foot and mouth, it's one of those funny ones because they can't treat it, can they? So it's one of those you literally just ride it out, isn't it?
Yeah, it was awful.
So they probably did have it, but like it wasn't labelled anything because it was just like, just get on with it.
Yeah. Second time we had it there in the house, Mila had it, touch wood, I think my immunity had superpowers by that point. And Mila had hand, foot, and mouth really bad. Do you remember when I sent you the pictures and she had it all over her mouth and nose?
Yeah.
And yeah, she was a trooper, puts me to shame when I was moaning and dying. And they just get on with it, don't they, kids? They do. They pretty much get on with it.
Yeah, they're so resilient, aren't they? So resilient.
They are.
And
much more than I thought.
I remember George having a sickness bug, and I think he was sick twice. And I was like, oh, great, thinking like we've got off lightly for this sickness bug that's been going around, like in a couple of days you can go back to nursery, you'll be fine. And then I was struck down, like bed bound, like you said, I'm to everything because I like had the cramps, being sick, like awful. And I was like, George literally was sick twice, how on earth am I feeling this horrendous? Like, it does not make sense and it's not fair. But yeah, just be prepared for illnesses, I think, everyone.
Do you actually on that, do you give Isla or George any like multivitamins or anything? Yeah, so we did that from quite early on, actually, only because George went off formula at like 11 months. Just literally one day, I think it was after a sickness bug, was just like, nope. So wouldn't have formula at all. So I was like, oh my goodness, he's not going to get like everything he needs. Yeah. So I gave him multivitamin from then. And then we just did it with Isla when we started that transition of formula to cow's milk. It's when that started sort of like the balance started shifting with that quite a bit. I just gave it to her. So yeah, we do. Okay. Do you? No, I don't. I know. I've seen their like little gummies and stuff that you can put in, but yeah, maybe that's something.
The gummies, I think, are for like a bit older. I think they're from the age of 3. Because I looked for George because he went through a phase, of course, of just being a bit of a nightmare having like the liquid. But yeah, now I give it to him every morning. It's now just part of like the routine. But it's one of those. How much does it help? You don't know, do you? But I don't like swear by it. But I just
won't do any harm,
especially the winter months. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So what would you say for parents that maybe are looking at nurseries or are about to start their nursery journey? What are your words of wisdom, or like any returning to work parents?
For nursery, I think it is just learn to go with it, is what I'd say. And I think, like I said, I mean, both of us were very kind of like quite strict on naps for the right reasons. And like we've said, you don't have that control when they go to nursery. And I think just trust the process. Those guys are the experts. They know what they're doing. They're in safe hands. But yeah, I think it is just learn to go with it, because your routine will be flipped upside down. And it will, like, we've just transitioned again from baby care to the next stage. And we kind of went through a week or two of, she was a bit upset at the door. Turns out it was just the door that she didn't like, I think, rather than the actual nursery, because she doesn't care anymore. But kids are resilient and they adapt quickly. So go with it. That's my nursery one, I'd say.
Yeah, my nursery one would be just to go with your gut in terms of finding the nursery.
Yes.
Which sounds stupid, but like we said, you will just know whether that's the right nursery for you or not. So I would definitely have at least 2 or 3 that you go and look at. And then take your pick of whatever suits you, whatever suits your child best, whatever suits your family best, and like make an informed decision, I would say.
Yeah, that's a good one. Definitely, that's a good one. In regards to work, what would your work one be?
Mum guilt, parent guilt is real. Like, it is an absolute thing. So don't worry that you feel that, because everybody feels it. That doesn't make it any easier, but it's just about how you manage it, and maybe making those sort of adaptations that you need to try and alleviate any of that. It will never completely go if you're having to work, if you have to go to work, especially, as we said, working full time. But yeah, the mum guilt is real, but we are here for you with that.
Yeah, definitely. I think mine would be just don't be so hard on yourself. I think be kind to yourself. Things aren't going to always be perfect, and that's okay. And I think the boundaries thing as well. I think if you can try and navigate through that and learn what the right boundaries for you and your family are and work, then you're gonna be a happy mum and you're gonna have a happy child, I think. And you'll be an incredible parent and an incredible professional, I think. So boundaries is a key thing for me. Definitely.
Amazing. I agree. Well, there we go. Thank you for listening to our return episode after however many months.
It's been so good. It's been so good to be back.
We're back.
Oh my gosh. I think thank you to all our listeners for being patient and waiting for us to get this episode out. No, we've definitely missed doing this and missed each other. I've definitely missed you, Laura, a lot.
Yeah, I missed you too. And actually, talking to those boundaries, we sort of said, actually, we really enjoy doing this, so we need to actually make the time to do this. Parent aside, work aside, doing this for us. So making sure you get something in there for you as well is really important.
Absolutely. So thank you all for listening to our parenting journeys, and we will look forward to speaking with you soon.